says that we are live now. Awesome. It takes almost a second for people to populate. I'm here with Joel Lava, who is running for Congress. And I always like to just start these out by saying, hey, thank you. Thank you for talking to me. I'm just a regular person. And what we're trying to do here is reestablish a government that actually interacts with other people, doesn't just listen to its rich donors and listens to our concerns. So go ahead and introduce yourself for everybody. I hope nobody's, you're nice and parked. So we established that, but go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name's Joel Lava. I'm running for Congress for California's 30th district. It used to be Adam Schiff's. Then he went to the Senate, and it was won by Laura Friedman, who's another Democrat. And it covers West Hollywood, Silver Lake, Los Feliz, Burbank, Glendale, up over the mountains into Palmdale, not Palmdale, Agua Dulce and Acton.
Mm-hmm. And are you one of the Courage candidates too? I was trying to remember if you were in that group.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm the courageous of candidates. I'm the impeachiest of impeachers.
That's what we need. And it's been on everybody's mind today. I mean, this just absolutely deranged message that the occupant, I call him the occupant of the Oval Office, sent out, where he's just declaring his intention to commit genocide. What are your thoughts on the latest state of the things right now?
I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
it's like Wheel of Fortune. It's just a constant turning thing. It's like, that's my whole thing is, I mean, just the reason I'm running is I'm a Tesla takedown leader. I'm a spokesman for Tesla takedown.
Good.
I was getting a little tired of holding signs, but it felt effective. Like we actually were affecting sales and tarnishing the brand of Tesla. So I was fine. But last fall, I just started to like get really angry, like hearing politicians on TV as if they're just reporters telling us all the unconstitutional and law breaking and bribe taking Trump's doing, as if they can't do anything about it. And I started to get really upset that they weren't even saying the word impeach. I started to also lead weekly rallies outside Laura Friedman's office. Really, just why will you not impeach? Why won't you say the word? What will it take? How many more people have to be killed? How many more bribes? And she won't even say the word. And there wasn't anyone else running against her. At the time, I was just like, I would love to support someone running against her, but there wasn't. I said, if she doesn't even answer us, like there were 25 of us in her office, respectfully filling out like the comment cards, still no response. And so I said, if I don't hear from her in 2 weeks, I'm running. So now I'm running. Yeah, I'm so fresh. Like Chris Murphy really bothers me. He's a great guy, but one of my huge issues is gun violence. And I'm like, bro, you've been in office for like at least 12, 14 years. Nothing has changed. So it's like, if you care so much about it, either shit or get off the pot.
Yeah.
And with all respect, because people are out there trying to fix things, but if there's no change, so it's like I don't want to hear how Trump is doing an illegal war. I don't want to hear that if he were to wipe out Iran, that's a war crime. Or it's like we're saying that we are just citizens. You can do something. You can invoke Rule 9 every day. By law, Speaker Johnson has to bring it to the floor. He can't do any evasion techniques. We can be filing impeachment every day. And as I say, my spiel is, well, we don't have the votes. Well, imagine if every Democrat stood unified on the steps of the Capitol, holding up articles of impeachment. First of all, that's the opposite of not doing it, which is feckless silence. It seizes the narrative. It lets regular citizens know this isn't just DC bickering. This is something real that we should pay attention to. And it's called leadership. Leadership is getting people to join your cause and fight for what you believe in. And so if you tell me you don't have the votes, and I say, then why are you in Congress? Why do you even fly out to DC if you're already telling me you can't get anything done? So why don't you quit and let somebody else join who can do something? So
absolutely.
I don't want to hear about the 25th Amendment. Like I don't want to hear Chris Murphy saying the cabinet needs to get together and do. No, you, Senator Murphy, you should be pulling Hakeem Jeffries and Democrats into a room and say, file impeachment now, or I will publicly shame you. Like that's what we need.
Yes. They surrendered the messaging, and actually The reason I started interviewing progressive candidates and challengers is because the Democrats refuse to talk to us. They're quite happy to go and talk to Joe Rogan or they're ready to go on Fox News. They won't talk to regular people. And everything that you're saying, I applaud you because there's so much they can do. They always act like their hands are tied. I always remind them this crop of Democrats had the power. We gave them the power in 2020. In 2021, they had the presidency, they had the House, they had the Senate. They could have stopped this then. We just voted on a resolution, resolution 38 on March 5th to stop this war, to stop the war powers. 4 Democrats voted along with the Republicans to keep it going. Why don't the Democrats get out there and start having some organization to stop these conflicts? And then we're just supposed to forget about it. They betray us again and again and again, and then they do nothing, and we're supposed to forget about it and then just forget about the primaries too. They always want to push to the elections. So thank you again for just bringing these issues up to the floor so we can discuss them.
Yeah, like they say, wait till the midterms. Like we don't have time to wait. Like, what are we waiting for? Does Trump need to just wipe out all of Europe? Does he need to take another $1 billion bribe or kill more people on the streets through ICE? Like, what? Even if we waited till midterms, and even if we win the midterms, and even if our votes are certified, we're not taking office until January. There are 9 more months of hell that will be rained down on this country and the world. It's mind boggling. Like, it's mind boggling that our leaders feel like they have no power. I would like to remind them and everyone Trump did not get 50% of the vote. The Senate minority represents 40 million more Americans. We already have the power, we already have the people on our side.
Yeah. And that brings us up, and I want to mention just election integrity. I keep talking to more and more people where you see the Republicans, they're trying to rig elections through things like the SAVE Act. I mean, that's blatant election interference. They try to gerrymander, they purge voting rolls. They are still debating whether the 2020 election was falsified, even though they have not found any evidence to suggest that. And yet, on the Democrats, anytime we offer any kind of complaint whatsoever, about examining the integrity of our elections, they tell us that we have to be quiet. We're not allowed to even have those conversations. Everything's fine. Something as gigantic as the election and the whole nation. Oh, that works fine. And if you even complain about it slightly, you're out of control. We had to move. So what are your
There,
thoughts on election integrity?
there's a parking meter guy coming, so I'm here. No,
Okay.
I mean the election. You already said everything. It's they don't have the votes, so they're trying to cheat through administrative means of suppression and you know uh
Gerrymandering, voting poll. They do a
just
lot of
just
things.
just gumming up the works. So yeah, I feel like though every time we have screened voter suppression and stuff, it's true, but it also has like I don't know what there's probably some term for this effect. Like in Georgia, we're like, oh, they're stealing this and that, and they pulled the All Star game, baseball All Star game. But then what happened is there was record turnout because it gets so much publicity that the people stand up against it and show up. But laws should only voting laws should only be made to make voting easier. Period. And it needs to be repeated ad nauseum. There is no voter fraud. It's a solution without a problem, and it's a very safe and secure election already.
Hmm. Do we have a place where you can park again? I mean, you had been parked and you had to
I just
move.
parked. I just parked.
Okay, good. Lefty Prof was worried about that, and I think that's good. And yeah, we had intended to be stopped, and we had to have a movement there, so he's parked now, and we are safe.
No, I just drove a one city block.
Yeah, one
I,
by.
uh,
Okay,
I
good. Yes.
I was just at a LAPD commission hearing um, for getting ICE out of LAPD, and so I'm downtown LA because
Yeah.
my district includes parts of LA.
Yeah. And I mean, though, it's just the surrendering of the Democrats, the way they surrender all these narratives, and just the reality. Yeah, everyone on the road thanks you. So yes, we thank you, Lefty, for bringing that to our attention. We do need to stop, and we just had a moment there. Everybody's up to their eyeballs in business. We're trying to stop World War III here, so. But I appreciate the concern there too. And I do want, though, I want the reason I like to talk to new challenging, new progressive candidates is because we can get these concepts on the debate stage, and then if you win the primary, we can get it into the debate stage there too, and it becomes more and more part of the national discussion. We shouldn't have to submit and allow Republicans to cheat because they do cheat. The current occupant of the Oval Office, 34-time convicted felon with business fraud related to election interference. He was under indictment for election fraud in 2020. And the fact that our entire Democratic establishment just allows this criminal regime to remain in power, and we're not even allowed to question these all these criminal this history of criminality that is this person. And now it's culminated in this threat of genocide against Iran. So I'll let you respond to that.
I think it's important. The word you said is Democrats are allowing it. And I think it's important to look at it through that term because we are not victims. We've become volunteers. And the idea that we can't fight Fox News or there's a hypocrisy, there's a double standard of like Trump can be a lobotomized rhinoceros, but Democrats have to be a black guy who
Yeah,
led Harvard
brilliant.
Law. But I don't accept that anymore. Like that was a valid excuse in the 90s and early 2000s. But we've known the playing book for 30 years. So if we're still sitting around complaining about double standards and hypocrisy, that's just victim talk. And honestly, that's enabling the abuser. And I'm not here to enable it. And like so, when you use words like we're allowing it, like when Chris again, I'm picking on Chris Murphy because everyone loves him, but he's so close. He's like, we need like he's breaking laws. We need to invoke 25th Amendment. It's like, bro, you're so close. You were so close to realizing you have power. Like, use it or get out of the
Yes.
way.
Yes. Now, here's another thing. I've been asking a lot of the candidates I've been talking to, and it's because primaries are very, very healthy. Primaries are allow multiple candidates to canvass the district, tell people what's going on, educate them so they're not abdicating their duty. We educate them. We don't let the right dictate how we think about things. We actually take control of those narratives. So we need these primaries. And the name recognition people get in primaries, it allows them to win state and county and town level elections. Now, but I've been hearing, and the candidates I've been talking to, is that often once they start getting some grassroots steam, they get calls from high-ranking Democrats telling them not to run. So, have you heard of anything like that happening?
Uh, Not yet. I would love to get that call. Trust me, I want that call so bad. That would like make me so happy. I joined just 3 months ago. Again, I hadn't planned on running. People have been telling me to run my whole life. I was feeling good as a Tesla leader, and I was leading ice out rallies. We were getting lots of people, although there's a good turnout there. Thanks to Donald Trump. I can't take credit for that, but yeah, no, I want them to please, please. But what I'm trying to do in California, it's the jungle primary, it's the top two. So all I need to do is come in second, and then I'm on the ballot against presumably the incumbent in November. So what I'm really trying to do is come in second. At which point, I would love to hear from the Democratic establishment.
What do you tell them?
I am a Democrat. I'm not about circular firing squad. I actually probably hold a lot of the same values as Laura Friedman. I would probably vote very similar. The difference is I would be effective. I would mobilize my people. This district represents 3 studios, a very wealthy group of people, the creative working class, industry, immigrants. We should be leveraging this district to have an outsized voice and have a greater power. And I say no offense to the people of North Dakota or Wyoming, but we have a very powerful constituency and it should be leveraged. And she's not doing it. And I get like I don't believe in litmus tests, but a test is if you see a mugging, do you go get a focus group to tell you what to do, or do you step in? Our country is being mugged. Trump is committing impeachable offenses every day. And if you can't even say the word, let alone file, then that doesn't give me confidence that you're going to be effective on all the other liberal progressive issues we care about.
Yeah. I mean, my wife is an immigrant, and this has just been this constant terror. They've allowed, and again, they had the power to stop this funding for ICE at the outset. They allowed that to go through, and we're seeing it's like we don't have assurances. I keep saying, what assurance do we have that our taxpayer money is not going to child rapists because they cover up their faces? We don't know who they're hiring to be these agents. They're taking them to concentration camps. We're hearing stories about children getting raped in these concentration camps because they're turning up pregnant. And just that level of opposing this. What can we do? I mean, what are your actions or thoughts? What more we can do today to kind of restore basic respect for humanity in the United States of America?
Well, again, legislatively, there isn't so much we can do. We can impeach. We can impeach
Mhm.
Hegseth. We can impeach Trump. We can give J.D. Vance a whole new slate. I mean, he's unqualified, et cetera, but there's not anything actionable against him. I think places like California, I don't believe in withholding taxes to the federal government. Like, I don't want anarchy. I believe in the rule of law, but California can do certain maneuvers to delay our payments to the federal government within the law. Like, we don't have to be prompt. We can do things like that and say, oh, you want money to do things? Well, we're holding it as long as legally possible. Like, there's all sorts of administrative things the House and the Senate can be doing to grind things to a halt. Look at Tommy Tuberville from Alabama. He held up so many nominations to the military because of abortion. He did it for so long that even people of his own party started to ask him to stop. But
Yeah,
that's what
yeah,
a Republican, to me, that's what a Republican is. They do that. They voted 50 times to repeal Obamacare. They will run through a wall headfirst over and over.
yeah,
And you may not like it and you may think they're a bit blunt, but you know a Republican will fight for what they want. And Democrats just don't do that. That's why I believe Kamala lost, because she said, when we fight, we win. Well, we didn't win. So people do not see Democrats as fighters.
yeah.
And they don't know how to fight. That's something I say a lot on my campaign. It's not that we've forgotten the working man, we forgot how to fight for the working man.
Mhm. How would you respond then? Okay, because this is what drives me, or what makes me very upset, is when we see these cases where we have enough seats. The voters have given the Democratic Party enough seats to stop these transgressions against the American people. And there are two or three or four Democratic defectors who go over and allow Republicans to have their way. Now, I don't know. What pressure can we put on these people who do votes like that? Or what would you do in that case if you see people within your party voting in a way that is devastating to the American people?
Um, Bigger picture, like, I guess I agree with you, but bigger picture, like, I don't mind a few defectors. Like, that's, to me, that's democracy. Like, we don't need
Well,
to agree
depending
on
on the
every,
issue. Yeah,
yeah,
depending on the
we don't
issue.
need to agree on every single
Mhm.
thing. But the question is, what can we do? Um, well, that's where it gets to the new age of messaging. Like, Donald Trump wouldn't be president if social media didn't exist. He didn't run in the 90s. He didn't run in the 2000s. He could not have run until social media was corrupting our brains and rage baiting us. So having said that, we can we can fly Mike Johnson's district and hold hearings. We can go to Fetterman's field office, his home field office, and hold hearings there. We can hold rallies. Imagine if, oh, I don't know, Chuck Schumer and other senators said, we're going to hold a rally with the top 10 Bernie Sanders Democrats, and we're all going to stand in front of John Fetterman's office and hold a rally. And I guarantee you there will be thousands of people that show up. There's all these things like that, John Lewis style. Like, say, let's do the John Lewis Platinum A++ plan. That's what we should be doing, particularly when we're not in power in
Mm,
the House
yeah.
or the Senate. Like, there are things you can do. You have a soapbox. That's what I'm saying. If you or I go protest, or you and I get arrested at a protest, no one cares. If you're a senator, it's a big deal. You have a megaphone. Use it. They don't know how to use it. They're using 20th century politics strategies for the 21st century, and they are clearly not working.
And again, I want to applaud you for coming on and talking to me. This is what we're trying to create, this new generation of leadership that actually listens to the people and that uses these tactics available to us. I mean, and it's almost to the extent it's like I said, the Democrats, they're willing to go and normalize extreme right wing messaging and extreme right wing personalities, but they absolutely will do absolutely nothing to help build up a rational kind of media model that fights on the other side, and they concede everything.
Can I
It makes
interject there?
Yes, go ahead.
Because, well, that also, again, everything you say, I agree. But I'm so sick of hearing is like, we don't have the infrastructure. We don't. I'm like, the roads have already been built. Everyone, you're inherent in what you're saying is there is a media ecosystem that already exists. So let's just use it. Like, if I was Kamala Harris, I would have done a residency on Fox News all week. I would have appeared on 3 shows a day. Like,
Yeah.
let's go on all their podcasts. If you are a sitting senator or representative, those shows would love to have you. So say, great, I'll be a regular person. I'll show up every Tuesday on Theo Vaughn or the Milk Buddies, or I will show up
Yeah.
on Sean Hannity every week. Like the if the ecosystem exists, the roads are built. Use the roads. Like we should still be building a progressive left
Yes.
infrastructure, but we should be doing everything at once. Like when
Yeah.
I'm elected president, I'm not sorry, I was just talking
That'd
about
be fine.
Kamala. If
That's the
I'm
next
elected to
election. That's the
Congress,
next election.
if
Yeah.
I'm elected to Congress, I won't say we should just look forward. Like no, we will. I will be very aggressive in saying we need to hold a commission on everything, on the damage done by Doge and everyone involved, by everyone who was part of the DOJ corruption, everything. We will have a commission. We will get it funded. It will be bipartisan, and we will go to town, and we will look forward, and we will pass laws that take away certain all the norms that have not been codified. We will codify norms. We will
Yeah.
do all the elections. We can do everything, and if you can't do everything, step aside and let someone who will.
I like what you said, and I'll just continue though. I like this kind of back and forth. We don't have to. This is the case of an academic disagreement where we discuss these ideas because I do like the idea that they don't go and give oxygen to these extreme right wing like Alex Jones and Joe Rogan. I don't think the Democrats should be on there, but they should be coming on and talking to me, and we should be building up and talking because I can then build my following. I can promote you. I can promote other candidates, and at some point it just starts to be like they should be smart enough to know that they can do this because they're not doing anything else, for one thing. And on the other hand, you get to that position where you think it seems as if they're deliberately trying to suppress our ability to communicate. And I'm talking about the Democrats. Because why else wouldn't they want to talk to me? Why else would they tell progressive candidates not to run? So go ahead and
I
answer.
can tell you. First
Okay.
of all, again, I'm not. I actually was in the K Hive. I'm a Kamala fan, but man, were things so great when she was saying I'm a brat candidate and they're weird and say it to my face, and then the fucking consultants came and you could see that record
Yep.
scratch, and it just stopped.
Yep.
So she raised $1 billion and lost. Imagine if they took 300 million of that and just put it straight into building progressive infrastructure media.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree with you, but it's like the reason they're not going on your podcast is because they don't want to be confronted. Again,
Yeah. That's it. Yep.
Kamala doesn't want to fight. She didn't want to talk about trans issues. She didn't want to talk about Palestine. She didn't want to talk about inflation. That's the problem. That's why people liked George W. and they like Trump. He will talk about anything. He will talk about it. And Democrats, just by not coming on your show, shows weakness. It shows lack of fight. They can't that's why in my opinion, Zoran Mamdani didn't just win because he's a democratic socialist or this or that. He won because he spoke his mind. People said, "Are you a socialist?" He didn't modulate his response and say, "Well, let me explain." He's like, "Yeah, I'm a socialist." So anyway, let's talk about the rent
Yeah.
cost. He
Yeah.
didn't shy away from anything, and that's why that is to me. Again, people feel it. Voters don't know policy. Most voters are low information, but people, we're humans. Like evolution has given us the ability to know when someone's shucking and jiving and being evasive, and people can just sense John Kerry, Hillary Clinton, and then Kamala Harris, like they didn't want to really say what they're thinking. Trump and W came off as saying they like it or not, they say what they think. And that's all people have to go on. Is this guy going to tell me the truth and tell it to me straight and fight? And by not showing up on all your shows, it is inherently saying I am scared to tell you what I really think. Therefore, I will lose. So it all goes hand in hand.
Yeah. Do I scare you? Am I, you're obviously here. I'm not all that scary, am I? This
I'm
is
a little scared. I'm a little
okay. I hope you're not.
I'm scared. I've been self-conscious this whole time. So you
Oh,
can see that my headrest is off right
oh, okay.
there, and my headrest is off because for my Tesla takedown protest, I have really huge signs that I
Okay.
have to fit in my car, so I had to take off headrest. I'm not some weirdo.
Well, if you hit the brakes hard, that might come flying forward. So we're
Well,
worried
I
about your.
think that was an accident. That's not supposed to be like that. I blame my kids.
Well, that's good. I want to say though, another thing that you said is yes, you can see when these consultants come in and then the strategy changes and all the air comes out. We got guys that are still the DNC is still paying attention to guys like James Carville. And I keep trying to tell them every time they send out a document that's got James Carville's name on it, they lose votes because that guy has said things that is just, in my opinion, are openly racist. And we have to clean house. I mean, the Democratic Party, all their terms, like when they start saying things like electability, that's racism, that's misogyny, and all those different things. When they say things like America's not ready for a black woman, it drives people out of the party. So I think what do we need to do to get the Democrats to stop listening to these sabotaging consultants who seem to be, and I hesitate to say, are they part of the Epstein class? Are they deliberately trying to get these losses so that they are unaccountable and just everybody's in this think tank so they don't realize it? What are your thoughts on things like that?
Well, it's interesting. If I can go a little meta deep here, I wonder. We all wonder the same thing. What happens to this person who was great, and then once they start running, something changes, and then when they lose, they start speaking their mind again. Like, what is going on? And I'm now running for office for the first time, and I'm feeling it. I have a team. I have a campaign manager, a PR, and then sort of agency. They're all my friends, but they're real professionals, and they're all like here's what you should be saying. Like we need to
Okay, yeah.
craft your message. Like you need to focus. Like they're not telling me to change my values. They're telling me strategically. Oh, polling or analytics is coming back. Like when I post a video, I can see what video does well, what doesn't. I can see where the viewers drop off. So just like any influencer or like there's
I don't pay
oh,
attention to stats. I'm
right.
old
But
school, yeah.
that's
I
how
know
it
what you
works.
mean.
So if I say abortion, I get more clicks, but if I talk
Uh,
about publicly financed elections, I get drops. So the goal is to win and the goal is to make change. We're good people and we start listening to the experts who we hired because they
yeah.
know what they're doing and they're like, "Oh, you instead of saying fuck ICE, you need to say we need to work with ICE to create reform."
Uh,
It's just like that
where are
kind
they
of
getting this
stuff.
information though? I mean, because that
But
can't be the winning
I'm just
message.
saying though, and as
Yeah,
a candidate, you can be like state running for. I'm a director. Running for office is very similar to making an indie film. It's so much. How much? Where do you fight for your vision, and where do you compromise to get it done? Like Robert Rodriguez when he made El Mariachi, it was on a shoestring budget, and one of their locations went to shit, and so he improvised on the moment and ended up having an even better scene because
yeah,
he worked with what he had. So there's this whole thing. We are humans. We want to work with people. We want to trust the experts. Like I'm very delegation is a skill. Like I work with other when I'm directing, I'm working with super talented choreographers and art directors and cinematographers. And when we're on set, they may be like, what would look cool is if you did that. I know we had planned this, but
yeah,
this looks cool. And it's a balance of like, no, I have my vision, or being open to be like, oh, I see, but that's a little sidetracked. But like, so the question is, why do we do it? Is because we hire people that if you are a leader, if you're a coalition and movement builder, you have
yeah,
to include people. You have to provide voice to people around you. So when you start doing that, you have to make sure what drives you to be who you are and why you ran in the first place doesn't get lost in the
yeah,
moment. And in 3 months, it's already happened to me. Like when I first ran, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna fight and say that, and then
yeah.
I got so. Oh, I have to get signatures. I have to set up my website. I have to go meet with this neighborhood council. Next thing 2 months went by and I hadn't even done
Yes,
one thing that I was sure I was going to do. So
yes,
that's where, again, sorry, it's like, okay, but if I can't recapture what brought me there and hold on to it
yeah,
effectively, then I may not be an effective leader and I need to get out of the way or someone needs to push me out of the way.
yeah,
And that's what's happening. And that's
yeah,
why there's a human, I think the mystery of why do candidates change is we forget that they're human and there's human constraints. And that's
yeah,
why do celebrities, why did Britney Spears freak out or why do celebrities get caught up in these things and do these weird things? It's actually because they're normal people in abnormal situations
yeah.
and therefore so this is all to say I really wish Kamala didn't stop saying weird.
Well,
And
that's the thing. It's because we have those consultants that are clearly giving them bad information within the Democrat. And like what you're saying makes sense, but we can look at what the Democratic Party has done, and all they've done is concede power. So clearly, these consultants that they've been listening to, the established ones that they're certain know everything, don't they don't know. Like James
well, I mean,
Carville, go look up what he said. He said awful things. He
yeah,
needs to
but
go.
I went to the AOC Bernie rally in LA. There was 30,000 people. So why other politicians can't see, they're getting 30,000 people in a city that they don't. They're on the
Yeah.
other coast. Why is that? Like we told Laura Friedman when we were just before I was running, when I was just trying to get her to do what we want. I said, Laura, we were saying this and leaving notes and messages because she won't talk to us, her constituents. Um,
Yeah.
we were saying if you held a rally for impeachment, we could get you thousands of people. If you in Burbank or anywhere in your district, you want to hold up articles and say tomorrow I'm gonna file, there would be thousands of people. We would back you. But if you held a press conference for your new take on agricultural policy, no one would show up. And we were trying just to and beseech upon her what you're saying is if you do look around what the people want and are responding to and do that like it's really not hard, it's not. But then you get into, well, if I file for impeachment, then that will inspire the MAGA base who's right now they're dormant and we're winning in the polls. We don't want to rile up the base and we don't want to get Trump mad and Hakeem Jeffries says this and the strategists at the top say that and I'm a team player and I want to go along to get along and I want to get that committee assignment.
They've been compromised, but I mean, it hasn't been working. The things that they've been doing, yeah, the business as usual hasn't been working. I see what you're saying though, but it's just we need new blood in there.
Yeah, well, part of the new blood is they're not beholden to the old ways of thinking. They're not even they don't even know the old ways of thinking. You know what I mean? Like I'm Gen X, but I got two Gen Z kids, and I I haven't been in politics. That's I'm very
Yeah,
political. I'm a political junkie, but I haven't been in it. So I'm not infected with that old way of thinking. The new blood includes they don't even know what the old paradigms are to even become held in that sway of those paradigms. And so
yeah,
I agree with you. That's part of new blood isn't just it's not that there's new to me like there is a great solution for every problem in the world and in our country, from climate crisis to education. The solutions are out there. There are experts in every field
yeah.
who lead their field or academics doing groundbreaking research. The problem isn't that there's no solutions. The problem is we don't have leaders who can make those and implement those solutions and fight with tenacity to make them happen.
Yeah, and again, I just wanna get back. I appreciate that you would talk to me, and we could just kinda work through this, and I would like to see our representatives who you're finding you can't contact yours, I can't contact mine, and we just need to change that because I don't think they're listening to the experts, I think they're listening to the wrong people. But I've only got a couple minutes left, so why don't you tell people where they can find out more about you, make some donations, support you, and we'll try to do this again at some.
Um, my name's Joel Lava. I'm at joellavaforcongress.com. Uh, I would love donations. By the way, it's lava as in
Lava, as in
lava
the floor
melts
is
ice.
lava, yeah.
Lava melts
Okay,
ice.
on lava melts ice. Nice. I like it.
You can get this at my website. We are an all volunteer operation, so all money goes to digital media advertising. It goes to signs, flyers, things like that, just to get our name out. I will take even $5 donations. Uh, didn't want to ask for money when I started this, but
It's
I I
impossible.
want I want to win, and we're all volunteers right now. All them I've poured in so much of my own money, and I want I don't want to do this for my career. I'm not going to DC to make friends. I'm going to make change. If I upset leadership, I don't care. Like I have two children. I see that there are solutions to reduce gun violence that no one is doing. I just going there. I will stick my neck out. I want to take punches. I want to give punches back. I am not doing this to keep my head down, get a committee assignment, and in 10 years maybe have a position where I can do something. No, I'm going in to do something right now.
Thank you, and I was all riled up today. I mean, we've been watching the news, and so I guess I kinda come out at you, but it's just like all the things happening right now, it's terrifying, and it's wonderful meeting people that are doing what you're doing, getting the new message out there. Makes me hopeful for change, so thank you.
Thanks, joellavaforcongress.com.
Perfect.
And proud Democrat. Thank you.
All right, we'll talk to you next one. Thanks everybody for joining in.
Thank you, Walter.
Yep, bye-bye.
Bye.